Well, there's definitely blood in the streets, but while there's all this chaos, we're still collecting premiums, selling options, and making cash. My name's Isaiah. In this video, I'm going to go over what we made this week selling options and collecting a little bit of money in dividends. So to do that, I'm going to show you my Excel file. Before I do that, I'm going to let you see my history, just for full transparency. You can see all the credits we collected this week. And this week, we collected over $1,100 in cash. A pretty good week, if I do say so myself. So here you can see all these credits collected. We'll go down to March 24th right there. So boom, selling covered calls. And all these credits we collected. Let's go back to the main page here. We have a couple options that are going to expire worthless. These covered calls means we're agreeing to sell them for that predetermined price. It didn't hit that price, so I'm going to get to keep the shares, and next week I'm going to sell covered calls on them again. So before I do jump into my spreadsheet, I had a question today. Same old, in terms of, oh, you're making that same play again? I go in phases on that. I jump between stocks I like, and every couple of months I have a new select few of favorites. So right now, I'm really liking Serve Robotics, NIO, APLD, and Fuel Cell Energy. And they, just like all the other stocks in the market, took a major hit today. If we look at SPY, the S&P 500, I mean, that jumped, wow, $11 down today. That's a lot. But even with those bloody markets, like I said, we're still collecting cash. That's the whole goal. Collect cash, roll your positions, make more money, and then when the market comes back up, your share value increases, and you have all that extra cash from the collateral you collected. So let's go jump over to the Excel file. As you can see, a heck of a week. $1,100.92 collected, $1,108.92 to be exact, collected this week, selling options and collecting a little bit of dividend income. I'm going to talk about dividends at the very end of this video, but like I said, my main focus is to sell options and collect credits. So before I go over these, always remember, even though your share values are going down because the market is dropping, roll your positions. What's that look like? If you look at row 6, Serve Robotics, I collected $82 from rolling my CSP. That means I collected an additional $82 on top of the credit I collected when I opened the position to roll this stock farther out. I'm still agreeing to pay the predetermined price, but I'm going to keep rolling the position until I either decide I want to get assigned or the stock price goes above the strike price, and then it'll expire worthless and I get my collateral back. When there are red weeks, CC or covered calls, those are fantastic ways to make money because you are going to agree to sell your stocks, 100 shares, for a predetermined price, and because you do that, you're going to collect your credit. Well, every week that the stock market goes down, you're still selling those covered calls, and the share price never gets above the strike, the price you agree to sell it for. So because of that, you're collecting a credit every week, and you're getting to keep your shares. That's a win-win in my book. So like I said, all in all, $1,108.92 collected this week. Our goal is to generate $550 a week minimum. That's our minimum goal. And we doubled it this week. So let you look over a little bit longer. Column A are the stocks we played. Column B are the credit amounts we collected. Column C are the plays we made. Again, CC, covered calls. CSP, cash secured put. R, rolled CSP. I rolled that cash secured put out to a farther expiration date. And rolled CC, I rolled a covered call farther out. And dividends, DIVs, those are our dividend payments. We collected $192 this week. So as you can see, 192 out of 1,100. Not making up a large portion of that. But I want to show you another Excel file here. And that's this one. This breaks down, like I said, I started recording this on an Excel file for you. 10 weeks ago. I know I could go farther back in my Robinhood history, but it's just too cumbersome to count up those credits. So we are just going to go from the last 10 weeks. Those are the amounts we collected each week. You can see their dates in column A, the amounts we collected each week in column B. Row 11, that is our 10-week total. So that $8,400 is what we've collected over that 10-week span. Not bad. If you break that down per week, that's $846 a week. That is a nice side income. And for some people, that's a full-time job. Depending where you are in the world, what you're doing, that's literally a full-time job. So not bad, nice little extra cash. If you would multiply that average week of 846, and again, to get your average, you take your total, divide by the number of weeks you're counting, so 10 weeks, weekly 846, multiplied by 52 weeks in a year, you're going to collect $44,012 in a year if you were to sell those same amount of options or average that amount every week for a year. So again, that's definitely a game changer. Help generate income. No matter how far markets drop, do not panic, okay? I promise you, markets go up and down. Right now, we're having tariff talk with all this uncertainty, and the market doesn't know what to do. And all you can do now are sell options. Again, you're agreeing to buy stocks for predetermined price. Because you're doing this, you're going to collect a credit or a premium. And by collecting this premium, you are going to generate more capital for your account, all while allowing the market to rebound, bounce back up, and the price of the stocks you own will increase in value over time as the market goes back up, and you're collecting that additional money on the side. So just be patient, give it time, and you will succeed, I promise. So let's jump back in the account. I'm going to talk one more thing on dividends before we end the video today. Okay, so last part of the video, I do want to talk a little bit about dividends. Like I said, sell options, but I have been keeping those yield max funds in my account just to kind of show the disparity between selling options and collecting yield max funds. And over the last couple months, I've been collecting all these dividends from those funds. I've just been letting them sit in my stored cash. And now finally from these dividends, I have enough to buy 100 shares of, let's see, which one did I buy? I believe ULTY. Let's scroll down here. Sorry, I got to go through the army of options we have open. ULTY. Yep, so we bought 100 more shares. So now we have 415 shares of ULTY. That takes my average cost down to $7.96. I know some people bought into this back when it was like 12 and 13 bucks, and that's rough. I hope you're, collecting those dividends to help cover that cost basis. Like I said, I am average cost of $7.96, collecting an average of $31 a week. That's right around what it's been paying since it went weekly. So now I have 100 more shares. So next week I expect to collect around 40 bucks, depending what the payout is. But like I said, I'm not a huge proponent of these yield max funds. I'm just letting you know this option is there. And when I get these dividends, I like to reinvest in those dividend-paying funds. I chose WYMAX, or not WYMAX, I'm sorry. I chose ULTY because I do think that's the best one. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.